Alright guys, I'm thinking about starting the first attempt of the final draft of this suit. Let me tell you why I'm thinking that. Mostly I'm thinking that because, well, I kind of feel it, and I tend to go with my gut. I was working on it today, man, I was really close to my face, sorry about that. And I was thinking about it, and I'm pretty much done with the arm. I like the way the arm is going, and I could do the leg, but the leg is essentially the same thing as the arm. It's very slightly different, you know, it's bigger obviously, and there's like one little thing that's a little bit different. Locking mechanism for the internal and external rotation of the knee when the leg is straight. If you're familiar with the channel, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? It's okay, don't worry about it. So there's that, but really, it would be almost an exercise in just building exoskeletons, which I've gotten a lot of, and I don't really feel like I need it, so why waste my time with it? So I'm kind of thinking that. Obviously the foot is in there. The foot's really easy compared to the hand. I thought the hand was going to be difficult. Now I don't think that is. I'm going to pop over to the computer real quick, and I'm going to tell you why I don't think that is right now. So this is the hand, guys, from Draft 3. And I thought I was going to be changing a bunch on here, and then because what I was thinking about doing was putting I was going to essentially take the exomuscles and split the tendon in two so that it connected on either side of the suit. But now what I'm thinking is between these holes, if you remember, is going to be running Kevlar so that you have a little bit of tactile sensation into your glove. And then my thought is the Kevlar would run just from here, so I essentially build another loop just right here, and then that would run down the palm, through the palm of the hand, and then up into the forearm up here, and that's where all the exomuscles would be housed. So that's actually a pretty easy thing to figure out. And then since it's a braided sleeve, it can kind of be pulled out flat, and because it can be pulled out flat, it can really go straight across here and be nice and solid there and not cause any issues. So instead of being like a solid thick rope that'd be kind of hard on your fingers, a flat piece should work out pretty good. That's what I'm imagining right now. So that's why the hand, I think, doesn't need that. So here's what I was thinking. I was thinking about doing the torso one more time, but I might just try to go ahead and go for it on the final draft. And what can happen is I can always do a draft 6, so this would be draft 5 would be the final one, and if I got it, awesome. If not, I could always start over and do a final draft. Or I might block it up, and if I just fuck up one part, like I kind of fucked up the torso on this one, I could just redo the torso and maybe actually make draft 5. That's also a possibility. This is kind of what I'm thinking right now. It's what I'm leaning towards. If I do this, I have to kind of recalibrate. There's a couple things I need to do. I need to get aluminum metal, thinner than this, about half this diameter, all the way down to a lot thinner than this, delivered to me from McMaster Car, and I want to hammer on it and mess with it, get some samples, and see how it forms, and see what kind of thickness I actually want to use to make the skin for the suit out of. Let's see, I want to source my Kevlar and measure the thickness of that, because I have to count for that for my composites. I want to double, triple check all of the hole diameters for all my bolts and shit like that. I need to figure out how I'm going to do the potentiometers for the suit. I've had some ideas on that today. One thing I was thinking about today is I can easily make potentiometers. So potentiometers are little things. If I have one, this is a potentiometer, and it spins and it varies the resistance. And so if you put a voltage across this and you measure the voltage drop on it, you'll know for sure what position it's in, and you don't have to calibrate them. They're really simple. There's only 3 wires going in them, much simpler than using something called an encoder, which is another way of doing it. But for exact position sensor, I know my eye's all fucked up. I don't know what's going on with it. Anyway, that you always know what the position of it is. With an encoder, you can move them really fast and stuff, and you can just circle them forever, but you don't know exact position unless you calibrate them, and they're a little bit more difficult in code too. So my goal for position sensing for the suit is to put those on it. Problem is that works really easy on the hinge joint, because you just put that in the middle of the hinge joint, and it works really well. Those slider joints, the middle of the joint is in my body, so obviously I'm not getting surgical implants for this shit, so I have to figure out a different way to do it. I haven't decided if I'm going to try to gear down something, because the problem is if you put this on the outside of one of those joints, it would need to spin like 5-6 times around. They do make 10-turn potentiometers, but I'm planning on using potentiometers much smaller than this one, and I don't know if they do that with 10-turn potentiometers. I might check it out if I can find it. Maybe I'll use those. If not, I could not use it, and I could try to, instead of doing that, I could do linear position sensors on my exomuscles, which if you watched one of my old videos, I made one, so there's a potentiometer attached in there, and this string attached to one of my exomuscles, this string right here, attached to my exomuscles, and then you can kind of see it's bouncing a little bit. That's because there's a reset spring, and so this is like a prototype of a linear position sensor I made for the exomuscle, and then that braided tube is that's where the hydraulic fluid went in, and then the braided cable is what the potentiometer went down. So I could do something like that, and then I would have that data in there, and then I'm thinking, since there's going to be an AI driving this, it might not be the end of the world if I didn't have that data point the position data point for all of the slider joints. I might be able to make it work. I'm not sure about that yet. That's another thing I need to think of. So I'm kind of thinking out loud. I have a bunch of stuff I have to have more refined. I also need to figure out what tolerance I'm building all this in. So tolerance is plus or minus whatever it is, 2/1000 of an inch, 3/1000 of an inch, 5/1000 of an inch, 10/1000 of an inch, whatever your tolerance is. The tightness of your tolerance is something I need to come up with. The tighter my tolerance, I can have a really precise tolerance made, like within 3/1000 of an inch, but it's going to cost more because the machine has to run more slowly to get it cut. So I need to think about what tolerance I'm going to operate at. I'm probably going to go with a looser tolerance because I expect the heat of the welder to actually put a little bit of warp in it, and if there's a little bit higher tolerance, or not higher tolerance, lower tolerance, so there's a little bit more slop in the system, it can accommodate a little bit of warping of the heat. So I think, and it makes it cheaper. So I think I might do that. I'm not sure though. I need to think about that. So that's another thing I need to figure out. There's a lot of things I need to figure out, but I'm thinking about maybe trying to go for it on this final draft. Another thing I thought about is I'm gonna build this suit. I've already talked about trying to make it hover. I might go ahead and try to take and make it the shape aerodynamic too, because I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I might just go ahead and try it, since one thing I've noticed whenever I buy something, I'm like, I used to do this, and I'm trying to do this less. Like when I would buy machines, like when I bought this machine, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm only gonna use it for a couple years. And I was kind of abusive to it when I first got it. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell Tim. He'd feel really bad. I wasn't super abusive to it. Don't get me wrong. I still respected the machine, but I was like, I'm gonna get a CNC. I'm not gonna use that long, and then I ended up using it for a long time. There's a chance that might happen with this suit. I might have to kind of push this out for a little while. So since that's been my experience with things, and things haven't in my history moved quite as fast as I predicted, I thought, why not at least take this suit and try to make it somewhat aerodynamic if it were to fly horizontal. I'm not saying I'll do that, but at least take a shot at it. It's not going to be that much, because it's not like it's going to make it that much more complicated of a part. And then I need to make sure I can look straight up, so that I could fly that way. That's another thing I was thinking. So I might do that as well. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna do. There's probably gonna be a little bit of me thinking about it before I jump right into the actual building. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. I wasn't expecting this to be finishing draft 4, but I might be starting on draft 5. It's kind of what I'm feeling right now. I don't know. I need to sleep on it. I'll let you guys know. So you can tell by the title of this video that I wasn't 100% sure, but I think I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I love you guys. Fun ride, right? It'd be really cool to start the final draft. I'm sure you guys would be all excited about it. Like, God damn, you can fucking build this shit forever. Fucking get it done, build it. It's kind of how I feel. Can't wait to be pushing rod in there and welding it. This is how I imagine welding it. I'm imagining welding the joints on it a lot. It's always in my head, or it has been since I started welding. I'm rambling now. You guys are great. Come back tomorrow. I'll let you know what's happening for sure. I love you. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Peace.